All right, live just started. Today, I'm going to be going live with Heath Martin. You might know him better for his account, Nonstop Progress, and that's also his YouTube channel. He's an MLS Academy player. He's played at multiple MLS Academies. He's about to join in just a second. All right. What's up, Will? How you doing?
How's it going, man?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Doing good. Doing good. Good to talk to you.
So, if you could just introduce yourself, like your name, age, position,
Yeah,
where
for
you
sure.
play right now, that'd be good.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So my name is Heath Martin. I did play with DC United under 19s, and I'm 19 years old, and I'm basically on the verge of signing a contract with a couple different teams I'm looking at right now, and I have trials to kind of nail down for the future. But at the current state, I played with DC United under 19s. I played with Atlanta United. I played with Img Academy. I'm 19 years old, and I'm Heath Martin. That's my name.
All right. So, could you just give us like a quick background of, I guess, from when you started playing soccer till now, and then we'll get into the questions about that.
Yeah. So when I started playing soccer, I played like a really small club here, and I basically just played the traditional club team in your youth academy, from under 12, under 13, under 14, and then once I got into being a freshman in high school, I saw the level and everything, and I wanted I wanted kind of more. And I wanted to become a pro. I was serious about it, and so I ended up going down to Img Academy in Bradenton, Florida, and I ended up doing well and developing for that 1 year in IMG, and I ended up attracting attracting the notice of Atlanta United, and Atlanta United ended up bringing me in for a trial, and they offered me a position for a year there. After some things didn't work out with the club and some disagreements, I ended up changing clubs and went to DC United, and so it's been a rough kind of ride, but soccer has its adversities and stuff like that. So so that's kind of me. That's kind of the journey that I've been through, and so I went to 4 different high schools in 4 years, and it's been one of those things, man, where you just got to get used to changing location and everything, and it's one of those. So yeah.
Yeah, it is soccer. Even versus football or basketball, it's like you can really end up anywhere in the
Right.
world, in America, wherever. That's
Yeah.
the craziest things about it.
Yeah. Where are you at right now?
I'm in Arizona. That's where I live, but my
Oh
school
yeah.
I go to is out in Texas. So
Okay. Yeah. So you know the deal whenever you have to change a lot like locations and stuff like that, and how
yeah,
kind of you have to manage that. You know what I mean? Because you're a new guy coming in, you don't know anybody. It's one of those things. You have a lot of uncertainty. You don't know if you're going to play. You don't know how good the players are. Especially around the Texas area. I don't know where it is in Texas, but you got Houston Dynamo. You got these North. I mean, even with the ODP system, they have it split up to North Texas and South Texas because there's so many quality players. In Texas, and so it's one of those things, man. Yeah, I totally get what you're saying.
yeah, it's pretty crazy just moving around. I mean, that's the only really big move or change I made, but I can't imagine going to four different high schools in 4 years. That'd drive me
Yeah.
crazy. But
Yep.
so
Yeah.
that was one of the questions I was actually going to ask too. So it sounds like um, mostly going to ask and talk about today the MLS academies.
Mm.
So with the school at MLS academies, you went to like a separate high school and then you just trained with them. Is that how it worked for you?
Say that one more time. You kind of cut out.
So, oh, what's up, Spencer? So with the MLS academies, it sounded
Mm-hmm.
like, did you go to a separate high school and then just trained with the academies and played with them?
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So basically, so with Atlanta United, it's kind of specific to the team. So like with Atlanta United, they had this team called, this school, sorry, called Rivers Academy, and it had like an association between the club of Atlanta United in that like private school. And it was actually really nice because they had like, they obviously talked and communicated. So it was very flexible because,
Mm.
with international travel, the game schedule and everything, and so basically it was great because even though the school was like a completely separate brick and mortar, location, they made it work because one, we had this thing called IDP system where on Wednesdays we come into training early and work on our weaknesses, and they'd bring a big van, like a Mercedes van, like a really nice van, and pick us all up from school, people who didn't drive, and then take us to IDP. It's called like the Individual Development Program. And then also we only had to go to school 3 days a week. And so, yeah, that's like kind of weird. It was only Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So Monday and Friday, you had just full on just training, but they gave you the workload of a 5-day school, so it was more of like you do it on your own time basically, to where you have more of a flexible schedule, because if you get called into the first team, with Lane Knight, like I got called in like 4 or 5 times with Lane Knight's first team, and they train at like 9-10 in the morning, and so you can't go to school on those days, obviously, and so they just give you the work, and it's just nice and flexible. So that's why it's kind of specific to each club as to what they do with the high school, because with DC they did have a associated school, but it was online, so therefore you have even more flexibility where you could do it online and then go and train with the first team, go training whenever. So it's kind of like one of those things that they need the school to be flexible and work with them because of the fact that you're ultimately trying to be a pro. So yeah
That's interesting because I think the way our academy system is, like, I'm pretty sure a lot of the ones in Europe, they'll have like a physical school, and you pretty much go there. And like you said, it's really flexible. And then here it does seem like you said, every club is different. I've watched a few videos, like Philadelphia Union is one of the ones. I think they have like a real like building and really like, I don't really know how to put it, but like all the classes are in person, and it's, like you said, super flexible and pretty interesting how they make that work together.
Yeah, one thing I was gonna say is, with Philly Union, it's kind of funny because they have their school, they have their training ground, and everything. Like, I'm pretty sure, I'm like 99.9% sure it's all in one location.
Mm-hmm.
So literally, and I know a couple guys on the Philly Union, or people who have come to DC United from Philadelphia Union, and they have told me, they're like, yeah, we wake up at like 7 in the morning with our host family. They give us breakfast. We go to training at like 8 a.m. and then we train till 9 a.m. or something like that. And then we have school from 9:30 to 12:30, and then we have lunch at like 1:30 to 2, or 1 to 2, or 1 to 1:30, and then we have training again around like 2:30 or 3. And I'm like, that's pretty damn good, man. You know what I mean? So it's like, you train twice a day. I mean, arguably, from a periodization standpoint, that's not most ideal to train twice a day, especially if you train that intense. But at the same time, it seems like they got it all set up in one location to where you don't have to factor in commute times and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think I watched something on YouTube about that, and it was pretty interesting. Like you said, how strict that is, and you have to think, if not many other MLS academies are doing that, they might the next few years their academy might blow away other other teams, other clubs,
Right.
and that might translate to their first team. Hopefully, we get more invested in the academies here in America, so that should be making a difference with how it's all set up.
I think that with the new league and everything, even though it's not going to affect me because I'm out,
Mm-hmm.
I'm already, out of the kind of the thing, and I'm going to sign, a contract with the team. But I hope that the guys that are in the development academy, and they're still in the development academy, that it helps that it's a positive that they have redone the entire USSDA kind of thing, because I think it's really good that the MLS kind of stepped in and said, okay, we're going to go ahead and make our own, because it kind of coincides with, since MLS is already at the top of the pyramid. So, them making the rules basically with not from a third party, it makes it to where it's more kind of linked, so to speak, or at least you'd like to think so.
Yeah, who knows how it will really work, but it does sound like a good system, and hopefully, at first it was kind of, for those players, I'm sure they were nervous, and with Corona, like, will we even get the academies back or things? But it does sound like they're getting a good system in place, and hopefully you can keep building on that. So that's something in America, if we want to compete, it starts from the youth level. So,
Right.
just like I can tell you, just playing because I've never played academy or ECNL. I played in like a regular old club, and we were in
Yep.
an organized club. And
Mm.
even for college soccer, that doesn't really prepare you that well, let alone professional. So
Right.
hopefully we can start making that shift where it's still have club soccer for kids that just want to play and have fun, but really like focus
The
on that.
professionalized environment so that it's really
Mm-hmm.
being that pathway. Exactly.
Yeah, and hopefully also make it more affordable or scholarships here and there for kids. And that's something else I was actually wondering too. With MLS Academies, do they offer, at least in your experience, were there scholarships, things like that? Was it really like private school and expensive? How did that work money-wise with that stuff?
So soccer wise, traditionally you don't pay for anything. So they cover the gear, they cover the travel expenses, I mean, depending on the need, they'll cover your host family too. They'll cover your boots, everything that coincides with soccer, they cover. They also traditionally will, did I say the host family? Yeah, yeah. So the host family, if there's a need, somebody that's from a third world country, they need that kind of housing.
Yeah.
They need the support, so they'll cover that too. Potentially the school, depending on what is chosen in terms of like what route the student, the MLS Academy player wants to choose, and like in terms of school, like depending on online or in person, that is more of like a negotiable thing, and I don't know. Like I'll tell you for me, we went ahead and paid for my in-person school, and they paid for everything else basically. So it was good. But then with DC United, you might have to cover your gear, but they cover everything else. You know what I mean? It just kind of depends. And I had to get I had to cover my housing up in DC because, yeah, honestly, man, like it's more of just like a team specific kind of thing, and it's also
Yeah.
need based as well. Yeah.
Yeah, certain clubs are gonna have more money and funding and all that stuff. That's pretty
Yep.
interesting about the paying for all the soccer, because like we were just talking about club soccer. Some of those elite clubs, if they're not academies, they'll charge you. I've heard of people paying like equal to a
$1,000.
mortgage per month. Yeah, like
Yep.
$2,000 a month for tournaments, other
Yep.
fees, fields, gear, all
Yep.
that. And that's like a minimum wage job, like per year,
Yep.
what you're paying to play club soccer. So that's pretty
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. It's insane, man.
Yeah, for sure. And then you brought up the host family. So did you live with a host family, or did you commute and live kind of close, or how did that work for you?
Yeah, I lived with a host family. So in Atlanta, well, actually, I have both sides of the spectrum because I lived with a host family in Atlanta, but I didn't in DC. So in Atlanta, I lived with a host family, and they were amazing people. They helped me, and they had a nice house in Buckhead, Atlanta. I don't know if you know anything about Buckhead, Atlanta, but it's the richest part. So it was good. But sorry about this. Hold on. Okay. Anyways, yeah. So yeah, I lived in a host family in Atlanta, and then in DC, I lived in an Airbnb. So you got the both sides of it. You got the hustler up in DC. I lived in a basement. You hear gunshots at night because I had to live in the hood because the cost of living there was crazy. So I was living in the basement in the hood, and it's still $1,000 a month. Yeah, still $1,000 a month, and so yeah, I mean that kind of sucked, but I mean and then in Atlanta, I didn't have to pay for anything. And, it's like a 3-story house, they got money, they're paying for all my food, you know what I mean? So, it's more so of like, okay, how can I this is a little bit off topic, but how can I change the mindset to say, you know what, make the home situation work, but then just
Mm-hmm.
turn the switch on whenever you jump on the field, you know what I mean? So that's yeah, host family with a couple, it's team specific as well with the host family and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like in America, it's specific too with academies. In Europe, England, whatever, those countries are so small. A lot of people can live at home, walk or
Mhm.
ride a bike to the club. And that would just be so weird living with a totally different family, or even just by yourself and you're still in high school and you're
Right.
paying for it on your own and you're trying to make things work. And that dynamic would be really weird, being around people that at first you're not totally comfortable with and just strangers. So that would be
Yeah, I mean,
weird.
imagine living in a house with, 5 other people, and you might invade their privacy on accident, and all of a sudden it's it's just they're sketched out because there's some dude living in their house, I mean, like, you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
it's just the same thing with Airbnb. Like, I swear, if you live in an apartment, anybody's going to be um, at some degree of sketched whenever they have like they just come across the thought of, oh wow, there's somebody living in our house, especially if the
Hmm.
person is rich because they could afford not to have somebody in their house. You know what I mean? It's just like, yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, that's some of those dynamics got to be really interesting. But again, like you said, if it's your dream, it's what you want to do. Um, that doesn't seem so, I guess, of a like it's still worth doing in the end. Of I'm
Yeah, the
playing it.
problem. Yeah, you have to look over all the obstacles and everything, and just look past that because at the end of the day, I mean, if like that kind of mindset was like present in like everyone, then they would be like, well, first I'm sacrificing all the fun that I could be having with my friends. I'm homesick because I'm away from my parents, and then I'm paying for this because I want to do this dream, but I'm sacrificing money, time, and then I'm sacrificing a good fraction of my life to go and do this away from just having fun and having clarity, like, or doing something that's average, like I don't know, like going to get like a just like sit down and do a 9 to 5 or something like that. You know what I mean? And it's just
Mhm.
like, I don't know, just like in my opinion, it seems like the investment that you're making, the return is going to be so much better. And that's why, like, you have these guys who are really, really, really committed, like crazily committed, that will do whatever it takes. Almost like it almost seems like that. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of both sides of it. I know the guys who like they get in with the wrong people and they get it and then they quit and then they just end up not doing anything or not hustling, or they just have like a bad mindset because they've been exposed to the wrong people. I've also seen the other side of it where people are like, I got guys that are like so freaking committed. This is the only thing they want in their life. Like if they could just have this, they would be the happiest person in the world. That's it. Like they don't even want anything else. And man, they could kiss everything goodbye and then get a contract and like, oh, I'm happy. I'm satisfied. You know what I mean? Like for example, like I've never been to. I went to like one homecoming, I think, like freshman year. I haven't been to a homecoming, like a traditional homecoming. I've never been to prom. I just don't care for any of those things. I just want to play. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just like you said, people there's certain things they don't want to give up, and then there's some things it's like, yeah, I mean, you can compromise some things. You can spend time with friends, but then you got to realize what is it taking away and find the balance. Do I want to, work a full-time job, or would I rather work part-time and just have a little bit of spending money, but just put all that other time into training? It's like a lot of those things you got to just think what it means to you, what it's worth to you. And a
It's
lot of times you'll learn like along the way, like, okay, no, soccer does mean more to me than this, or
yeah.
maybe family means more to me than this, so I'll prioritize that. So
Right.
that's something
Great.
that's hard to figure out.
Yeah, I just think it's great that like people like you and me and everyone, you start to put value in your time, and then my dad us, so we like to play the numbers games and we look at, hey, this is how much time you're putting into something. Maybe it's like a job or something like that, but really you want to put it into something that's like a lot bigger than just the job. You know what I mean? And then like in the long term, you say, well, that investment's going to pay off a heck of a lot more if you put it into soccer and then work, like you said, like a part time, less spending money, but more into soccer because that's ultimately what you want to do with your life. And so long term, you're going to be a heck of a lot more happy because you're not going to have that regret that I never my dream. I never chased my dream. I never knew what I could become from a soccer standpoint. So yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Someone had a question. They said, what would you recommend for people living in India who want to become a pro internationally? I mean, I'll let you answer that because you're closer to pro than I am right now. So
Yeah, I mean, basically, the thing about it is, whatever kind of current situation you're in, that's why I made it nonstop progress. Like the name was like, it wasn't just like, oh, I'm gonna throw some shit on the freaking paper. No, it was like I truly truly believe that if every single day, despite your current situation, you're making continuous progress, like you're actually like you're looking at yourself and you're fixing the things that are wrong with your game and you're continuously improving yourself. With that mindset and that mentality, even if you live in, wherever, I think that the right people will start to notice you, and the harder you work, the luckier you get. So I think that if you live in India, wherever, focus in on yourself, focus in on, what does it mean to you to be a soccer player, and then put that investment onto your game and really fix anything that's wrong. And then obviously do the work off the field and on the field, market yourself, reach out to the right people, find agents, find people that will take you to the next level. If you're right here, try to find someone or a mentor or someone that's right here, or the ideal person, and follow their path. For example, right? I played with DC United under 19s. There's a guy named Russell Canoes. He's the first team player, right? So, it's funny because me and him talk a lot about like all the things off the pitch that you can do, on the pitch things you can do. He plays right back, I play left back. You know what I mean? So it's like it's like yin yang. It's the same. We're the same. He's the ideal person for me. Therefore, I watch and study everything that he does. And so, that's really the thing right there, is trying to find the right people to guide you, and the right mentors to get you to the next level, because those connections that you're building with doing that are going to really jumpstart your game, and that can even lead you over to going international, going to other countries that maybe have a great landscape for soccer, in terms of like the pyramids and then everything, and it's just like that's the only thing you actually can do, is try to do all those things basically, because other than that, it's up to God basically. You know what I mean? And luck, because sometimes you got to get lucky, but I definitely believe the harder you work, the luckier you get. So. Yeah.
Yeah, you made some great points. I think a lot of people think, oh, they got lucky having this connection, or somehow this coach saw them. And it's like, it's not really luck. It's the harder you work, the more you put yourself out there, the better your chances will be. So like you said, the harder you work, the luckier you will be. You'll just get more chances, more opportunities, better chances. And I like your point too of find someone that kind of mirrors you, position wise, where you want to be, like the league, whatever. I think that's why I enjoy like talking with people like you, watching YouTube videos, hearing people's stories, because you hear, oh, this is how he did it. And there's no specific formula for the same person. It's the exact same thing. Do this, do this, do this. But at the same time, you see, okay, you worked your way up the clubs, you played better, you met more people, you branched out on your own, you used your connections, you got into this club, you took your chance. You made it, you moved up again. It's like, you can't tell someone the exact way to do it just for them necessarily, but you can listen and learn and see, okay, how can I kind of replicate this, or, apply this to my own journey?
Right. I mean, like the one thing I was going to say is, like, speaking on that, I can literally remember like a whole time in my life. It was back whenever I was at IMG. And the first freaking training session I even trained with them, I mean, I was by far the worst player on the team, like by far the worst player. I mean, I was so bad, like when I saw them starting to ping the ball around, I was like, holy shit, this is crazy. And then they passed me the ball, and it went under my foot. You know how the ball under your foot unless you're like tripping. You know what I mean? I was like this. And like the coach could see it, and he was like, what the hell is this guy doing? But yeah, I mean, the ball went under my foot, right? Okay, worst player, right? Okay, so that's when I was like, all right, you know what? I need to swallow my pride, be like humble myself, just put my head down and just freaking go to work. And that's what I did for like 6 months. Okay, I started the first game against Atlanta United, and we got smacked like 7-0, right? Okay, we had an absolute ass whooping, right? But then what happened was I worked. I mean, if you get smacked 6-0 and I played like ass and I got subbed the first 30 minutes, the Tony Annan over at Atlanta United's thinking, this guy's stupid. Why is he even on the field? And then, hold on, 7 months later, back, into February, or how many ever months, into February, we played him again, and I showed him, what I got. I improved a lot. And then they were like, wow, who is this player? It's almost like they didn't notice me the first time, or even see that I was on the field the first time. And the second time, I was like glowing. You know what I mean? Because it's just the consistent hard work and the consistent, not taking no for an answer. I never take no, ever, 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 ever. So it's like, that continuous progress, that continuous work ethic, continuously continuously not taking the BS from all these coaches that think that they can put a cap on your future and tell you, you know, what you should do, what you shouldn't do. You know what I mean? Like filtering the mentors, like you were saying, filtering them out, finding the ones that are ideal, listening to them, and then figuring out a pathway customized to you and the connections you have to be able to make it. So,
Yeah, exactly. I remember in high school, I took a 4-year break from club. I started playing again the summer before my junior year in my first practice. I didn't think I was that bad, and I've always like had a decent like soccer IQ. And then I just realized, I was like, oof, my touch is not good. This is pretty fast. And you know, I was on the B team for almost like a whole year. And you know, there were times where I thought I'm good enough to do this, and then think about, well, I definitely have a lot of room for improvement. And I just, like you said, just started putting my head down, kicking the ball off the wall almost every night, training, just going to the park, just being out there.
Dude, we should like start sharing stories about the craziest crap we've done. Like the craziest, like literally. I remember one time that like I was sitting with like my friend. He now plays for Sporting Kansas City too. So the, like I guess Swope Park Rangers or whatever in the USL. But yeah, he was like a goalkeeper, and he's sitting with his girlfriend. And I think he was like, I think he was like asked me to leave or something like that. And I was like, I don't know. It kind of made me mad, right? I took that anger, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go train because I'm just pissed. You know what I mean? That's the only thing I knew how to do. I just knew how to train, man. I just wanted to put my head down and work. And so, you know, next thing I know, you know, it's 10:30 at night at IMG. You know, the lights are barely on. I started doing like my 10 down and back sprints, and then I started getting on the wall. You know, I'm playing one touch with the wall. You know what I mean? And then eventually, like, I'm just like so gassed to where I can't even be mad anymore. Like my emotions are just like numb. And then I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go to bed. So like, you know what I mean though? Like channeling all that energy and all that like willpower and motivative like anger to like what I want to do and what like the goal is over time. So it's just that continuous channeling kind of, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And that makes me think just I think last week, I think I was training by myself and I just kept messing up. And I was like, I'm going to do 10 push-ups every time I make a mistake. I ended up doing 230 push-ups that day. And I was like, probably taken away from like my initial drill I'm supposed to be doing. But I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to get through it. This is going to increase my focus because I do not want to do any more push-ups. And I made less mistakes. And I just pushed through it. And I was like, you know what? Just mentally that felt better, even if I did mess up 23 times.
Right.
I punished myself for it. I pushed through it. I got the work done. You know, and just that mindset, like you said, just progress and keep working, keep trying to get better. Next time I go out and do that drill, I'm going to try to make 22 mistakes, then 21, then 20.
Yep.
I mean, I don't want to make that many, but you know, you get the point.
Yeah, I mean, I'll have those days too where you go out there and you're just like, well, what? Like my brain is just not even like connected to my feet. And yeah, I mean, even today, like I had a lot of different mistakes I just got pissed off about. But yeah, I mean, like what I'll do and like to punish myself is I will literally like I will stay there until I get like 5 or 6 or 7 reps until I'm like satisfied that I've done it like efficiency like level that's like it makes me happy basically. Like I swear, I promise you, today I went to the field with the post that I just posted, the drill with between the cones and shit. I went and I messed that up like probably 5 times before I actually got it right. And I mean, yeah, like dude, I was screaming, bro. I was like, shit, dude, I was just like so mad, man. Yeah, I feel that it's the passion that's like coming out almost on you. You know what I mean? It's just like spilling over because because you want it so bad, you know? And that's a really good way to be. Like a really good way to be. So.
Yeah. I mean, my friends have seen not even soccer, just things, and you have that competitive like passion, like I want to win, and when you don't, you get pissed. Sometimes it brings out the worst in you, but like deep down, you still want that like fire. And then when you can put it into soccer and training, like you said, I can never end on a miss or a bad like pass shot. I'll just like, nope, just keep hitting me. I don't care if it takes 30 minutes, an hour. I'm going to end on a good one. I'm not going to go off. And that's just something I drill in my mind. And even if it's just one more quality rep, I just have that confidence. Okay, I ended on a good note. I might have messed up 99 times out of 100, but the last one before I left was a good one. So it's like, not necessarily pleased, but just that mindset that all the Michael Jordan, Messi, Ronaldo, sometimes you don't want to be too perfectionist, but even just to name your account nonstop progress, just get better,
Hmm.
keep that passion, competitiveness, and use
Yeah,
it.
man. I definitely agree, dude. That's what I'm saying. Like the whole mindset behind it, the whole like movement behind it. It's just like, the mentality behind I want to make continuous progress until I achieve what I want to achieve. And I'm not going to stop until it happens. And whatever like reevaluation it takes, whatever kind of change of direction, change of approach it takes, whatever, it doesn't even matter. Like I don't care about like if I did 100 things wrong and then I just learned that I did it all wrong. Okay, thanks. Well, now I just got 1% better because now the next time I'm gonna do it better than that. You know what I mean? It's just like
Yeah.
it's like let's say a continuous process where, like, yeah, I want to get better so bad that even if I've done it wrong for the past 5, 10 years, I'll do it right now, and then it's going to pay off in the next 6 months because I'm going to do it so many damn times. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Whatever it is, a drill, consistency. Even if it means I go and do like 1,000 juggles after every single session with the left foot. I mean, with the right foot, because my right foot is my weak foot. You know what I mean? That's what you
Mm-hmm.
got to do. I'll do it. And that's what I've actually been doing. I've been doing 50 juggles with alternating, and then like 50 with the left, 50 with the right, and like yeah. So I've been trying to. That's one thing I've been trying to do during this quarantine is been able to get like more consistent with my right foot because it's my weak foot. So yeah.
Yeah, same here actually, and like just translating that mentality too of like work on your weaknesses because it can be frustrating sometimes. My left foot, I cannot drive the ball straight in a straight line. I cannot
Hmm.
ping it or hit a long ball. I can pass, I can curl it, dribble, juggle fairly well, but like that's something that's just frustrating. But I know I'm like I just got to work on it, improve on it because you never know when you're gonna. Oh, now I got a wide open shot with my left foot, and then you're in the game, you shank it. Like I could have been working on that the whole off season. I could have nailed that,
Yep.
and
Hmm.
or just you could have made a nice long ball to your forward, whatever. And then in the game, you're not able to because you haven't been working on it, and just those little details, just that mindset to work on it, and it's frustrating working on your weaknesses. Sometimes I wish I could just go out there, just have fun, just shoot with my right foot or do whatever I'm best at. But that's not really going to make you that much better.
Right. Right. Yeah, man.
So, just kind of the last couple questions, kind of getting back onto the MLS Academies thing. Um, what was the typical schedule like? You kind of already talked about this a little bit um, at Atlanta United and then at DC United. So, like day to day school, training, stuff like that.
Yeah. So the schedule was like this. So wake up around 8:30. Actually, on school days, you have to wake around. I had to wake up around 6:30. Get ready, go to school from 8:10 to 12:30. So like 8 a.m. to 12, and then lunch, and then on Wednesdays the individual development program at 2 p.m. and then training at 4:45 p.m. And after that, just have your dinner at 6 or 7 whenever you get back because we shower there at the training ground. We do everything there pretty much, and then yeah, your day's pretty much done. Um, yeah, I mean, usually the trainings are around, between 4:45 and 7 p.m. That's usually when it is. Now, if they call you into the first team, they train at 10 a.m. They're in the training ground at 8:30, eating breakfast. They do their activation at 9:30, and then they are on the training pitch at 10, warming up, doing things that they're weak, like doing like their regular. They'll do like free kicks and stuff like that, and then they'll warm up, and then they'll start training at 10. And it's interesting to see those first team players, how serious they are about the continuous like growth. And I think someone said the growth mindset. I like that. I'd call it the nonstop progress mindset, but That's a little bit too specific. No, yeah, the growth mindset, and they have that, man. What I saw like seven of the players kneel down right before they crossed the line to go to train, and they're like, thank you God for giving me the opportunity to get at this level. Thank you so much. This means so much to me. Like the appreciation to and the dedication and the respect for the game and what they've achieved because of the fact that they know that it's less than 1% of people who make it. And so like you see that, and they jump on the training field, and then they just play their freaking heart out, and it's just a different level of like seriousness and like respect for the game, and it's definitely something I've never seen. But back to the focus of the question, so they'll do that, and then they'll eat. They'll eat around like 12:30 after they've finished training at like 11:15. Um, and actually like 12, and then they'll shower, and then they'll leave, and then they have the rest of the day from 1 to 5, 1 to 6 to do whatever they kind of want. Usually the first team players are really smart about it. They'll do something on the side like real estate, whatever. That's what Russell Canoes does. They'll do something like that to have an extra side income,
Mhm.
and what they already do with the MLS. But it's really smart, and that's why Russell Canoes is my mentor because he helps me with all that stuff too. And then that I think I covered the first team. I covered the development academy. So yeah, that's pretty much the schedule all around. So
Yeah, I think that was a cool point. Like, I can't imagine that mindset just around the academy of so many people. And you get to see the first team train, and every once in
mhm.
a while you might get called up to train with them, play with them. And that would be that's something that can be really frustrating about playing regular club, high school, even college. A lot of guys just who cares, and they don't really think about the opportunities you're given, and take advantage of it. Whether you want to play pro next or you want to go to the next level or not, just realize you're lucky, and at least take advantage of it while you have it. Because a lot of people would kill to play DC United, Atlanta United Academy, let alone D3 college soccer. There's a lot of players that would kill just for that opportunity. So
Right.
that's something I think would be really like refreshing and like inspiring to be around those people. Like they're so grateful, and they show it by like how they like the work they put in. But with your schedule, so you said training. Would that training include like a gym session with the team and then go out and practice, or were you kind of left on your own to get your gym work done on your own? How did that work with the lifting stuff like that?
Which the team is the specific on is specific to the team on that as well. With Lane United, yeah, we'd have our lifts, yeah, and they print it out for us on a sheet and then tell us all of it. It's a progressional. It's progressional. So, over time there'll be more like
Mm-hmm.
heavier, more all that stuff, and they have all the sports scientists to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and then you got the other club, DC United. Sometimes we started out the season with that, and then it kind of got to the point where like, we were like kind of focused more on just like the field, and I did my gym stuff on my own. And it just kind of really depends on the team. But yeah, I mean more like the the gym is not really, I don't want to say important, but I think, in my personal opinion, that it's more of a supplementary kind of thing to that complements training. And I think that some of the teams are really, really, really skeptical about bringing their players into the gym because of the fact that like they might get the wrong mentality about lifting because that's where a
Yeah.
lot of things, that's how they start doing that stuff, and it's just but I mean, it's one of those things where I mean, I can go to the gym and do my own stuff and get the same benefit out of just doing like plyometrics or something like that on the field. That's very soccer specific because the fitness from like a fitness standpoint and improving yourself in the gym, you know, I would say like doing muscular endurance with weights is probably the most beneficial thing to do, and you can do that on the field with plyometrics and stuff like that at a high repetition rate. But yeah, I mean, it just kind of varies team to team.
Yeah, I think that's something different about soccer because I played football for a while, and the
Same.
mentality around that is all just push the biggest weights, be the strongest, whatever, be the biggest. And going into soccer, it's like a lot different approach. You don't want to like you're. If I bench 500 pounds, who cares? It doesn't mean anything if I can't
Right.
pass or touch a ball. So I think that was something like I had to think about. I don't want to give up my time in the gym because that really like makes you more physical, strong, fast. It's one of the best ways to build that strength and speed. But you gotta realize, can make the approach more, like you said, game specific, soccer specific. And I still see some guys on my team in college, they just get in the gym and all they do is bench for 2 hours or whatever. And what good is that doing you?
Right. Yeah, and you know what's funny is I've actually been on both sides of that spectrum. I've been in the position where I'm like, okay, I go to the gym. Well, and actually I was kind of smart with it because so around the age of like 13, 14, 15, 16, maybe even 17, I had that mentality of, hey, get stronger, get bigger, get faster, get more explosive. Because I actually think that in that age, even up to the age of 19, maybe even 20, it actually is smart to go ahead and do those compound exercises that do build strength, build speed, build build size, but tailoring it towards a soccer specific kind of thing where you're building that power because you want to be faster, and it's one of those things where like I've seen myself kind of transition more from the get bigger, get stronger, get faster for whatever reason to more of like, okay, I want to get stronger, I want to get faster, I want to get more explosive because I want to be a better soccer player. You know what I mean? So it's like I just completely like 180 the approach to like going to the gym and the mentality of what I want to get out of it. So it's like I used to, whenever I'm at IMG, we did the power cleans, we did the bench press, we did all this, like the lateral raise, all this stuff. I still do them, but at a very less of a consistent rate because I don't want to get any bigger. Right now I'm sitting at 5'11", 170, and I have a very low fat percentage. And the only thing that I would be going into the gym to improve would be just to get more explosive, maybe get a little bit stronger. I don't want to get bigger because my legs are already like big enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I would go do my if I had any muscle imbalances, I would go and try to fix those, and I would do my balance work. I would do my my core strengthening work. I would do my troubleshooting exercises to make sure that I'm getting my my weaknesses kind of fixed. For example, my groin, like those kind of things where you're kind of doing like corrective exercises because you know that you've had injuries in the past and it creates scar tissue, which yields that you need to be doing prehab, that kind of stuff, basically. So yeah, that's what I would do now.
Yeah, I think it's a good point of, if you're going to be in the gym, don't just get bigger, faster, stronger just for the sake of being bigger, faster, stronger to look big like a big tough guy. Do it to apply to your game. And like I said, you see the pros, like, if you've watched Matt Sheldon or Jeff Blake, when they're in the gym, there's a lot of that prehab, rehab stuff, prevent injuries, and that's like a big part of weightlifting. It shouldn't just all be about push the most weight. Like, how does this translate to my injuries? And get better, get faster, but more applied to the game. My echoing sounds bad on my end.
No, it's good.
I guess I just mean. So, last question I just had. This one, I think kind of already know the answer to, but just have to be asked. With the skill level from club, Img Academy, and then MLS Academies, what was that jump like? Were there anything specific that really was like miles ahead of the level below it? How'd that work?
So between Img Academy and Lane 9 and DC 9?
Yeah, like club, Img Academy, and then MLS Academies.
The professionalism is through the roof. Difference. It's very soccer tailored. So in IMG, it's more of like they have 7-8 sports, so it's more of like a general soccer kind of thing where you do the traditional stuff, but just at a very expensive like level because of the fact that it's $90K a year to go to IMG. Obviously, that's without any scholarships or anything like that. I would never even consider that shit if I didn't have like an 80-90% ride and shit. So yeah, God there. But basically, I mean that's the big difference is professionalism. The other thing is obviously that they have professional teams that you can go into. So basically, they got professional teams. So therefore, you have a higher chance of becoming a pro. So it's they have a direct path. It's to the pros. They can directly sign you. You have to go to a different team if you want to go pro from a regular club. And the last one would probably be the difference in training. The training is a lot more very specific to things that are problematic in different systems. They have an established system. They have a brand of soccer they like to play, and they're very specific about how to improve it. They do a lot of confusing shit. They do a lot of passing sequences to help just to increase the overall functionality of their team. They do a whole bunch of different, like I said, crazy shit that's just so damn confusing you want to die. Like it's just like I remember this one time we did this drill where there was like 18 boxes and there was like or there was no there's 8 boxes. There was like double the players. So what is that like 8 + 8 is like what 16? So or some shit like that. And they had 16 players, so 2 people in each box, and then they had 8 is on one team, 8's on another. So there's one player from each team and each box. There's 8 boxes. If you have possession, you can move around, and the guys who don't have possession have to stay in their box. So imagine like 8 players playing possession with 8 players having restrictive space. So and that kind of thing is to control the press, make sure that everybody's not just following the ball, basically. Like you see in the little leagues where everyone like goes to one side and they go to the other. You know what I mean? Creating the balance of press. And so that kind of attention to detail is not what you're going to get at a traditional club, because those MLS academies, they put so much more detail into the training and make sure that it's very deliberate and very specific about what they want to improve and what they want to get out of it. And that is a huge difference. Is the training. And that's why you ultimately see these guys go pro, because they are really, 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 really serious about improving. So, and the one difference I was going to touch on between the DC United and Atlanta United, because I know that's probably the last question or whatever I saw it, is that is just like the training ground and everything. Like obviously Atlanta United is newer, so they have they have that initial investment. They're able to put down a whole bunch of money from to everywhere, and DC United is more established. They've produced more players. Maybe they are kind of tighter because the cost of living in DC is absolutely crazy, and it's understandable. But yeah, I mean, DC United has produced more players given the fact that they've been around for longer. And honestly, if I had to recommend a club, it's just wherever you can get in, because honestly, you get in, and you progress, you're going to get seen, you're going to get the right opportunities to become a pro if you're good enough. So it doesn't matter if you're at DC United, it doesn't matter if you're Atlanta, it doesn't matter if you're at Real Monarchs, it doesn't matter if you're fucking up in Portland. You know what I mean? It's all going to be the same thing. So that's what I've seen. It's no difference between the opportunity. Well, actually, with DC United, I got more opportunities, but it's if you're good enough, you're good enough. So it's like one of those things where it doesn't really all that trumps everything, kind of. So, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Good point. And like you said with the skill level thing, that is like the professionalism, the training, attention to detail, and especially academies, like you said, they have a certain brand of soccer, and they want to like teach you their brand of soccer because they know there's going to be a lot of players that leave or go to another club, but they really want to raise them up in their own system. They know it super well, and then eventually work your way up to the first team.
Right.
And like I think Ajax is one of the best in the world with that. Of like they really try to drill in a certain program, certain style, and they have a lot of big products that come out of their academy, play for Ajax, and then they sell them for a ton of money. And that's like their whole way of soccer, how they do it. Like every year they make a ton of money off these academy guys. And, like you said, really specific, strange drills maybe, but that's going to help you a lot and just learn more tactically about the game than just some coach at a high school or college club. And then just that's their brand, but it's not they're not as professional and
It's not proven.
Exactly, yeah. It's just kind of
battle tested whenever you go to one of those teams. Yep.
Yeah. And like you said, the difference, you can't just expect to go to one academy or club and think you're going to get way more opportunities. It's like you said, the opportunity will be there if you're in the right place and you're doing the right things, and just take advantage of it. So you have anything else left you want to say?
And that's about it.
All right. If anybody has any questions, you got a few seconds. Let us know.
What team are you playing for next year? I just read one of them. Yeah, I I am waiting on what they're gonna do with everything because apparently a couple of the players and a couple of the different teams tested positive, so they're kind of back to square one in terms of points. But yeah, I have a lot of things working in the background for the USL team and stuff like that. So I'll have an announcement or some more on that later down the line. So yeah.
Someone asked, I don't know if they're still here, have y'all played overseas? I haven't. Have you?
Like play with a club, like a club overseas, or like played like any time overseas, basically.
I think either one. I don't know if they're still here, but
Yeah, I mean, I've played in overseas, so not Canada. I mean, I've played against Montreal. I've played in Spain. Um, I've played in Ireland. I've played in Scotland. I trained with Celtics, their academy. I played in the Northern Ireland Milk Cup. And I played against like Chelsea and Southampton and like Middlesbrough and a couple other teams. Yeah, I've done some stuff. Yeah.
oh, wow. So do you travel over there with your academy team and have
Uh,
friendly games, things like that, tournaments?
it was like a scouted team with like a travel like a newly formed travel agency at the time, and they like did that kind of thing, and I was just like, I'm gonna jump on this. So they ended up inviting me, and I was like, all right, that sounds good. That's what happened, basically.
Lucas asked how
How
old.
old? Yeah, I'm 19.
Yeah, I'm 19
19.
too.
Yeah, man.
Did you
I just turned
just,
19 actually.
yeah, I was just about to ask, you just graduated from high school this year, right? Or is it?
Yeah, I turned 19 on June 11th too. That's funny. And I graduated from high school. Yeah, so I'll be pursuing soccer 100% now and doing the nonstop progress thing as well. And we'll have to see what else I do. Kind of. I mean, it's one of those things where I'm trying to get into a lot of like I'm young, so I'm trying to get in. You know, we're both young, so we're trying to get into as much as we possibly can. Kind of like like kind of tasting all the flavors of life. If that makes any sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
How many
19.
hours do I?
Oh, my bad.
What? No, it's so straight. What'd you say?
I was just about to say, yeah, I'm 19 too, and I'm gonna be a sophomore in college next year. So
Yeah.
not really a year older, but sort of, I guess.
Yeah. No, what did this dude say? Oh, he said, how many hours do you train a day? Honestly, I train about like just an hour and a half. I mean, I mean, you think about it, my sessions are so intense to where I'm dead after an hour and a half because I'm going 100%. You know, I'll do my fitness at the end to make sure that I'm nice and fatigued, and then actually today I trained for an hour and then I went and ran 5 miles. So that was shit was crazy. Yeah, I was tired, and I'm only drinking juices today. I'm not even drinking any solid food. So tomorrow I'm gonna feel like ass, but it's okay. Yeah. So like
Yeah,
usually on a typical day, 1.5 hours, and I do go high intensity. You know, every single minute counts. Like I will like rest very small amount, and I will get my fitness in, do my warm up. You know, all really good. So yeah.
yeah. For me, normally my soccer train session's about an hour and 30. I'll do some like body weight workouts, stuff like that, and that'll be about an hour or less. And so, but yeah,
Yeah.
like you said, unless I'm doing like a real technical session, like yesterday, I focused a lot more on like shooting long balls. So it was like 2 hours or so, and I was dead. My legs
Yeah.
so tired. But
You said you were
normally, yeah, I try to keep it an hour and a half.
You said you were focusing on what again? I didn't hear that part.
Yesterday, I just said yesterday, like it was more technical, and normally my training sessions when they're more technical, I'll drag it out a little bit more and
Mhm.
just try to focus on the technique. But if I'm like really high intensity, like I said, hour and a half is good for me.
Yeah, I mean the technical stuff is like then I can relate to that. Like I do the same thing. I'll make it longer because I want to get the reps in and everything. Like the other day I had like an hour and 45, and then I decided just to juggle as many times as I could, and I ended up getting more than like 2,000 juggles. Like at that point, I just got bored. But yeah, I mean, like I'll do that. I'll do like something like technically that takes a long ass time and just draw it out because I want to do it or I need to do it. Especially if I freaking mess up like a whole bunch, I will not leave. There was one time I was like there for like 3 hours until I got it like how I wanted to get it because I just kept on messing up a long time ago. But that's beside the point. But yeah, man, I 100% I 100% agree.
Yeah, we only have about 5 minutes, so these will be the last questions we answer, the ones that are here. So, new performance you play in college? Yeah, I play for Shrine University. It's a D3 in Kerrville, Texas. Does your team give you a workout plan? You can go first.
Um, yeah. I mean, what kind of like a gym program or what? You think he's talking about a gym program?
Yeah, probably.
Um, yeah. I mean, they'll give us different plans depending on like what they think we need. So like, for example, with me, I have a lot of groin issues, so they give me a whole bunch of different exercises, a whole bunch of different strengthening things for groin issues. Like the ones that I posted on my page, those are all good. Copenhagen's are good. My groin was not at the point where I could do those like last week, so now I can do them. But yeah, I mean the Copenhagen's, all that good stuff. Yeah, they give us some. Yeah. What about you?
For me, we just have an app for like workouts, and it's like 3 days a week, so I do more than what's on there. But it's just kind of a basic, like general, a lot of body weight, simple exercises. So it's good stuff to do, but I do a little bit more than what they give us. And then we have a fitness test we're supposed to do at least like once a week, so I'll run that every Monday to get in shape.
Yeah, let's fly through these real quick because I'm kind of
Yeah,
crunched for time. So let's say thoughts on creatine for soccer. Um, yeah, so I just got my NASM certified nutrition coach certification, and yeah, I mean basically the literature states that it's good for bulking up, and it kind of flushes in fluids to your muscles and stuff like that, and it kind of makes you look bigger. As to for soccer like for recovery purposes, I don't personally use it. But yeah, I mean yeah. And then why 2 or 3 sessions? I don't do 2 or 3 sessions because oh, he said why not? Because it's just drawing it out, and the intensity is going to drop, the quality is going to drop, and it's not going to be as beneficial as doing one 5K time. I don't run 5Ks. How do you get into an academy? You can email them on my website. The link is in my bio, or if it's not, it's in the description of all my YouTube videos. I actually have a list of all the MLS Academy emails, and you know what's funny is Josh is that all the academies have like taken down their emails from the site, so therefore I have I mean, kind of exclusive access to all the emails to all the freaking coaches to every single respective club. And yeah, it's on my website. That's kind of funny though. But yeah, if you want to answer any of those questions, go ahead.
yeah. I'll just like Creatine, I kind of agreed with you said. I don't really think it's necessary unless like you're really trying to get the like 0.5% increase in performance or whatever. If you're doing everything else right, sure. 2 or 3 sessions, agree with what he said. Unless you're just doing like juggling 3 times a day, you can't really keep high intensity. I don't run
Right,
5Ks.
right.
I didn't get into an academy.
Wait, hold on. Wait. Question. Is a 5K like 3.2 something miles?
I think it's 3.1 instead of
Yo,
cross
okay,
country.
hold. But like today, I ran like 5 miles, and I had to stop after like 3.4. So my time for a 3.4 was 24 and like a half or something like 24 minutes, 24 and a half minutes. So for almost 3.5 miles for 24 and a half minutes, 25 minutes, maybe, I don't remember. I think it was like 24 and a half, 24:36 or something like that. Yeah, I mean, that's my time. I mean, honestly, I don't really run like that, like long distances. I'll do it because I want the foundational endurance, but a lot of my endurance, I'd say 40% of soccer endurance comes from high intensity interval training, um, and managing the rest to where you're getting, the lungs, you're getting the stimulation there. So yeah, but hey,
Yeah.
uh,
Sorry to kick
my
off
my,
real
my
quick. We got 30 seconds, so I just want to say thanks for your time. Really appreciate it. Go check out Heath Martin's Instagram, YouTube channel. He posts a lot of great training videos. Lots more stuff you can learn from him. Thank you for your time. Really appreciate it. Great interview you, man. Good luck in your
100%, man.
future. Keep in touch.
Thanks, Josh. Appreciate you, bro. Yeah, 100%, definitely.
All right.
All
Thanks
right,
for
bro.
everyone that tuned in. I'll post this on my YouTube and IG in a few minutes. So thanks again. Y'all have a good one.
All right, Josh. Peace.
Bye.